Empire. You have to know your body to play 2 decades in the NBA.
Well, you got to think, I've across 2 generations of our NBA. You know, when I first came into the league, there was nothing called load management. When we were in training camp, it was 2-a-days for 30 days consecutive.
That's Jason the Jet Terry, who's the head of athletic performance at Flexit, where being your best is in the palm of your hand. This is the Future Sport Podcast. I'm Bram Weinstein. Jason Terry has had a long, distinguished career in the NBA, winning a title and surviving for as long as he did. Now he's using his experience to coach and to front a new technology that will help those reach their peak performance and maintain their conditioning. Our guest this week is a longtime NBA veteran, Jason the Jet Terry, who played 19 seasons in the NBA with the Hawks, the Mavericks, the Celtics, the Nets, the Rockets, the Bucks. Won a championship in 2011. Still coaching in basketball with the G League affiliate team of the Nuggets, the Grand Rapids Gold, and is now the first head of athletic performance with Flexit, which is a virtual fitness solution. It's a lot, Jason. Nice to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'll talk about the past with you in a bit, but let's talk about the current, present, and the future. What got you into a virtual fitness solution?
Well, you know, as a professional athlete for 19 years in my career and having the luxury of a personal trainer, it's just what it was. It's just a luxury. And to not have that luxury once you retire and you're still trying to be physically fit and healthy, you know, what better platform to have than what Flexit provides? It's a great virtual personal training platform that you can do anytime, anywhere in the comfort of your confines of your own home. Especially now in the new age of where it's not always comfortable to go to a gym. You know, some of these fitness centers out in public, you know, you can get it right in the confines of your own home, hotel room, or apartment or what have you. And you still get that personal attention, you know, that some of us need to get up off that couch and to get back physically fit.
All right, so tell me a little bit about Flexit itself. How does it work?
Yeah, Flexit is a digital platform where you can log on once you become a member, and you kind of sign up, and they have over 1,000 personal trainers that you kind of select and pick out which personal trainer you're comfortable with, and then they work on your schedule. So it could be 5 a.m., it could be 8 p.m. Whenever you set up the time for you to get your workout in, you log on, it's you and whatever device you're using and your personal training, and you guys have a workout that is specifically tailored for you and your goals of fitness.
So is this person-to-person live that these are happening?
Yeah. Yep, live, right now, in person, live. And it's a real person that's connecting with you, guiding you and coaching you through your personal workout.
Are people doing this in gyms? Are they doing it in their home gyms? What about what kind of equipment requirements are you looking for your users to have?
All you need is a laptop or a portable device or a smart TV, iPhone, and you can log on. And our model is anytime, anywhere. So it doesn't matter. I mean, you could be at a hotel room in China, somewhere across the water. You could be right there in your own home, in your office, like anywhere. And you can get your work in.
In terms of the equipment used for the exercises, though, what are you looking for users to have?
You know, the name is Flexit, so it's flexible. I mean, whatever you have, you can use your body weight. Sometimes they cater workouts and tailor workouts for that. You may have some home weights that you have already personally, or you can be in a full-scale type gym, and they can, you know, conduct a workout for you there. So it doesn't really matter. It's totally flexible.
I mean, obviously it goes without saying for you to play for nearly 2 decades and then, of course, be a college basketball player and a high school basketball player, you clearly took fitness very, very seriously throughout your career. Could you kind of share your story of how you maintained your body to play at the level that you did for the length of time that you did?
Well, for me, it was all about routine. And, once I kind of got my routine, so to speak, I had to stick to it. I had to be disciplined, but I also had to have, a good support group around me that could push me to make sure they held me accountable as I held myself accountable, which was very important. Then you get into the nuances of it. Obviously, later in my career, probably about my 8th or 9th year, you start to diet a little different. You're not going to fast food restaurants. You're not eating the fried foods. You're not eating late at night after about 10 p.m., that type of deal. But I'm not a super stickler for diet, but diet does play a part of it. But not only your physical health, but your mental health as well. As you become physically fit and you live that type of and maintain that type of lifestyle, it also helps your mental health as well.
All right. So how do you function as the head of athletic performance? What are your duties with Flexit?
Well, my duty is to continue to promote the platform and encourage people to get engaged and be involved. Health and wellness is a lifestyle. It is something that you have to swear by, and you have to be disciplined, but you got to believe in it as well. So as the head of athletics here with Flexit, I'm just a big ambassador for the brand.
So the goal of the company, are you going to try to have partnerships with gyms? Are you going to try to have partnerships with equipment companies, Peloton and the like? How do you kind of see the growth of what you guys are doing?
I think they're going to expand their technology phase of it. And actually, in the early phases, they were connected to a numerous amount of gyms around where they had a technology where you didn't have to have a membership to show up to a 24-hour fitness or a Gold's gym. You would have this Flexit technology. You can log on and check in at any gym in America, which is good because sometimes you can't find that particular gym you're signed up for any gym in America as long as you had the Flexit app. And so it's a great technology, and I think they're going to grow it and expand it. But right now, again, it's all about virtual personal training.
Let me get your just general sense that you're following this and you're working still with professional athletes. Time is a little different now. Seems like we're rounded third on the pandemic. Do you get a sense that people have an appetite to go back and work out together in gyms?
It's still a little shaky, man. I mean, I know a lot of people that in my immediate circle and others that they're just still skeptical on going into gyms. Not that going in there is bad. It's just, you just never know. COVID was such a shock to everyone. You just weren't mindful of it. Before, you can just walk in the gym, there's 1,000 people in there, you're sweating, you're touching machines, and now you go in there and it's not as many people, because of the fear of, still coming in contact with the disease. But for me, like I said, the thing about Flexit is you're comfortable, right? And you get your most work done when you're in your comfort zone. And some people just still aren't comfortable in that setting anymore of being in a gym because of, the amount of people that you can come in contact with.
All right, let me ask you a couple questions about the future of the NBA, if you don't mind, just to kind of lean in on your expertise, having played there for a long time, still coaching with an affiliate team of the Denver Nuggets. What's your general sense when you hear the terms load management? What does that mean to you these days?
Well, you got to think, I've across two generations of our NBA. When I first came into the league, there was nothing called load management. When we were in training camp, it was 2-a-days for 30 days consecutive. So there was no thing about load management. I don't even think we knew what that was. But as, we got smarter and we wanted to work harder, but we wanted to work smarter and we wanted to give, our guys in the league longevity, you realize that, some of the things we were doing were crazy. Physically, your body wasn't going to be able to hold up as long. And so, we got smarter. I mean, load managing is good to a certain extent if you have a guy that is injury prone, which some guys are, or, guys that are coming back from injury, then there is good reason to load manage. Now, if you got a completely healthy athlete, then hey, for me, if I'm healthy and I can move and I can function, I'm playing. So there was no load management for me. It's not anything that I believed in, other than if somebody was really actually physically injured.
As this does proliferate, though, and we've heard Adam Silver talk a lot about changes that he could see to the NBA with maybe a midseason tournament and play-in stuff and all sorts of different types of ways to try to manage a season. What he doesn't talk about is changing the footprint or the length of the season. Do you ever get a sense that it would be a good idea to shorten the regular season for the purpose of keeping stars on the court more often?
Well, I think the league has done a great job in the Players Association of limiting the amount of back-to-backs. Those were very rigorous. The 4 games and 5 nights in 2 or 3 different cities, that was rigorous on your body. I don't care who you were, what kind of shape you are in. That is something that the human body should not have to endure. And it takes a toll on you over the lifespan of a season. But for me, 82 games, hey, I did it. And I probably played 90% of the games in my career for a 19-year period of time, and it didn't affect me. But everybody's body's different. Hey, I'm 6'2", 185. There's not a lot of pounding on my knees unless I jump in the air and get hit by Shaq. So for me, I don't mind the 82-game season. I think the fans, they get bang for their buck. They get to see their teams fight it out. And as you've seen now, as these races get even tighter down the stretch, I mean, there's some great basketball being played out there, and it's not always the usual suspects. Before you said, the West was so dominant and the East was weak. Well, now the playing field is level, and there's plenty of talent throughout our league. And so I just think the more games they play, the more competitive it is, and we'll see what happens here in the end.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. With LinkedIn becoming #1 in B2B display advertising in the US, you've got a great advantage. With their tools, you can stand out against your competitors while nurturing customer relationships and growing your brand. So scale your marketing and grow your business with LinkedIn advertising. As a thank you to their customers for helping them grow 3 times faster than the competition, LinkedIn is offering a $100 credit on your next campaign. Just go to linkedin.com/marketing.
This episode is brought to you by Seventh Generation. New York, did you know that climate pollution costs the state $27.5 billion every year? That isn't some national number, but a direct impact on your well-being. Climate pollution impacts all of us, our health, our communities, and our livelihoods. But it's not too late to change course. As you hear this, a $15 billion investment sits on the table of Albany's legislators. This is an opportunity to transition New York into a regenerative economy and invest in you, in us. It's vital help for communities hit hardest, with improvements in infrastructure and a more stable grid. It's a commitment to a future-fit labor force with job retraining and greater benefits. And it's money back in your pockets through lower energy costs and direct support for low to moderate income households. Tell Albany today. Invest in New York. Invest in us for future generations. To find out more, visit seventhgeneration.com/climate.
Guys, if you're looking for that extra confidence when it's time to have a little bit of fun, let me tell you about Bluechew.com. Bluechew is a unique online service. It delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but it comes in chewable form and it's at a fraction of the cost. Bluechew's tablets will help you combat all forms of ED. Plus, it's an online prescription service. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is really simple. Sign up at Bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you are approved, you'll receive your prescription within days, and the best part, all done online. Bluechew's licensed medical providers are going to work with you to find the right ingredient and the strength for your personal subscription. Plus, their tablets are made in the United States. They prepare, they ship direct, and it's so much cheaper than going through a pharmacy. And here's a special deal for our listeners. Try Bluechew free when you use our promo code FUTR, F-U-T-R, at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Bluechew.com, promo code FUTURE, F-U-T-R, to receive your first month free. And we thank Bluechew for being a sponsor of this show. How do you kind of view roster building these days? It does appear that the players have taken a lot more power in figuring out where their destinations would be and try to determine where they would like to play and who they'd like to play with. Do you sense that this is just what's happening now, or do you get a sense that roster building is forever changed and will be dictated by the players' desires of where they would like to play?
Well, I just think not only in sports or in professional sports, but in life. I encourage all the people I come in contact with, young people, even the guys I coach, is that you have to take ownership in your own career, in your own journey. And, to see guys speaking out now on social topics, to see guys kind of speaking out on their career and saying, hey, look, this is not the situation I thought it was. I want to go somewhere else and try it out. I mean, hey, more power to them. Everybody's journey is different, and it's easy for someone to sit here and criticize and critique and say, hey, I would have did it this way. Well, you couldn't do it that way if it's not you. So, everybody's journey is different, man. And, I really applaud these guys because there was one point in time where, players were fearful of, speaking out because they thought it would impact either their financial ability to earn or, the perception of them to certain people in ownership. So, I applaud these young men.
In terms of the brands of the teams themselves, though, it does appear that the name on the front of the chest is less and less as important as the name on the back these days. Do you think it matters if for the long-term health of the league that superstars are changing teams as often as they seemingly are these days?
Well, we can debate that back and forth, but I always think it's a players' league. Without the players, you won't have the teams and the cities, and it's always been like that. But I will tell you this, as equally as important as it is for the players, is it the fan base.
Yeah.
Like, I'm from Seattle, diehard Seattle Sonics fans. When they won their first championship, and I was born in 77, I was 2 years old when they won it in 79. So I will tell you this, I was a fan of franchises. Like teams that have longevity, that have championship histories. I was fortunate to play for the Celtics. Obviously, my time with the Mavericks. Like those are certain franchises that will be around forever. They'll outlast the time, right? So I think it's a fine line, but it's definitely a players' league. But I tell you what, man, there are some great franchises out there that support these players, that support these cities, and have great fan bases. And, you do miss the rivalries because that's what we grew up on. But you got to kind of like this new age, man, because you don't know who's going to win the championship. Like it was always at one point in time, it's going to be the Celtics or the Lakers, right? And then the Bulls had their run. But now, man, anybody could win it. And I think that's the intrigue. That's what the fans love. And a lot of these fans are more fans of the players than the team. So you do have a point.
Well, since you're coaching, let's go full circle here. I think we all know Seattle's going to get a basketball team again. Maybe you could coach the new Sonics, and maybe you could convince Kevin Durant to go back and play for the new Sonics to finish his career out there.
Yeah, if that happens while Kevin's still playing at the highest level, then we'd love to have KD back in a Sonic uniform because that's where it all started for him. Definitely a dream come true of mine to go back home and coach for a professional franchise, and hopefully it'll be the Sonics. But we'll see. I know it was one of Stern's goals before he passed away, and hopefully Adam Silver will figure it out and try to get the Sonics back home.
All right, I'll let you go on this, and let's just revisit fitness in general. The one part of this I didn't touch on with you are kids and youths and youth sports organizations. How do you see something like Flexit working with groups like that? And in general, too, what is your message to young people right now as they try to stay healthy?
Well, especially now in our time and age right now where, mental health is very important. But I always say it, mental health is a direct correlation with physical health and wellness as well. And if you're physically fit and in good shape, then your mind will be as well. And so for young people, I gotta say, you got to take care of your body. You got to get out, you got to exercise, you got to be fit. And I think, with our platform, it will engage not only the kids and the parents' relationship, it will bridge that gap. And man, you got to test out the technology. It's phenomenal, and it's very easy to operate.
Yeah, we can all use a little help. A little push. Doesn't hurt. A little push. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, just a little bit. Couple jumping jacks, a little push-ups, and you get through it.
Yeah, I hear you. Jason the Jet Terry is the head of athletic performance with Flexit. He played 19 years in the NBA, won a championship back in 2011, and he's also coaching a G League affiliate team of the Nuggets, the Grand Rapids Gold. Pleasure talking to you, Jason. Thanks for joining us.
You as well, anytime.
This episode is brought to you by delicious Bear Snacks. Between cryotherapy, goat yoga, and smoothies made with things you can't even pronounce, wellness can feel a bit complicated. But there's a simpler way to wellness. Bear Snacks. They're a tasty, crunchy snack made simply of apples. With Bear Snacks, less is more. Buy Bear Snacks now at most grocery retailers nationwide.
This episode is brought to you by Onnit. You have goals to become stronger, healthier, and more mindful. And the best way to start is with you. And that's why you use Onnit's Alpha Brain. It's a dietary supplement that helps support cognitive functions like memory, mental speed, and focus. Available in capsules, powder, or a ready-to-drink shot, Alpha Brain comes in various forms, so you're always ready to achieve your flow state. And for something more premium, Onnit's Alpha Brain Black Label features a refined formula that supports attention span, learning, and long-term memory. It also helps you achieve a state of relaxed alertness that lets you zero in on tasks without feeling jittery. A little better every day with Onnit. Go to onnit.com today and enter code SPOTIFY to save cash and find your flow state.
On the next Future Sport podcast, the collectible marketplace is heading into territory where the barrier for entry has been lowered.
Let me share this with you. I'm a traditional collector. I always have been. And I think that was one of the things I wanted to bring to the table at Collectible, is to say, look, I'm of the, if you want to call it the whatever, traditional or old school mentality. You're right. Like, do I want to pick up and hold the bat I have on my wall? Yes, I do.
That's Joe Orlando, the new president of sports at Collectible, which is leading the new highly popular fractional ownership space. That will do it for this episode. As always, the future is now. This is the Future Sport Podcast. I'm Bram Weinstein.